Take a walk on the wild side and the color girls say
Are we all back now? Nearly. Have we got? Is there anybody outside? Is there?
Give them a shout.
Oh, give them a shout. People outside. We're just waiting for you. Should we wait a minute? Are they coming in? There's one. Martin's on his way. He's just. That's fine. He's yeah. Look, they're all coming in now. That's it. Are we all back now?
One more.
One more. I will be in a minute. And in the break, I've just worked out. You're 88, aren't you? That is. You are looking brilliant for 8. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You're looking fantastic for 88. What's the secret? Rambling, clearly. That's what it is. I'll be honest with you, like, I wasn't sure what tonight was going to be like, whether it was going to be hostile or like, just loads of abuse, but you've actually been lovely. And none of you have shouted out about my height. Because you must have all been thinking the same thing. Fuck me, we only want another 6 and Snow White to turn up and we can have a panto. And I was at a gig at Cirencester last week, right? And this woman came up to me after she said, "Oh, you remind me of somebody off TV." And when she told me who it was, I was bloody horrified, right? I said, right, I look nothing like that person, and I said at the next gig, I'll prove it to that audience and their reaction when I come back and do the gig next month. I'll just prove it that I look nothing like the bloke you said, right? Bear with me.
It was a good school show, was it? Fuck off. See what you think.
See what I mean? Nothing like him, right? Nothing like him. There's people in this room who've got no idea. I mean, you at the front, you have no idea. The young guys, the 13-year-old lad, you definitely wouldn't have any idea who that is. It's Don Estelle from an 8.5 Optimum, and I look nothing like him because he was 4'9" and I'm 5'2". But my main protagonist about my height, I've got to be honest, it's been my wife, right? Because after we got together, and the silver stand-up competition I was telling you about, it was a couple of days after Valentine's Day. And I celebrated Valentine's Day with my wife of 23 years. And by that I mean, I'm not married to a 23-year-old. That would be fucking brilliant. I did the romantic thing. I phoned the florist. I said, I'd like to order some flowers for my wife. She said, that's fine. Do you want a card? I said, yeah. She said, what do you want on the card? I said, I'll just put, to Lynn, all my love, Nick. And then she said, would you like a kiss on the bottom? So I said, that'll be fantastic. What time do you want me there? And she was like, no, I meant on the bottom of the card. I went, yeah, I know. I'm a comedian, I was just making a joke. And quick as a flash, she said, I bet you don't get many gigs. But we were sat at home and on Valentine's Day, just having a meal, and Lynn said, can you remember how we first met? Vaguely. She said, you had a heart, you had an advert in The Citizen, in the Lonely Hearts column. And she was right, I did. She said, in fact, you had 2, but I only replied to 1. So why was that? She said, on the second one, you put your height, right? I didn't know she had an issue with my height. I should have realised, because about a week after we got together, I suggested we go to Alton Towers for the day, and she was like, what's the point you going? And we'd been married a year, and I came home and she said, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah, what is it? She said, how do you feel about being only 9 inches taller than the largest emperor penguin ever recorded? She Googled it, right? She worked at Castle Hill School in Brockworth at the time, and I used to go in there to have coffee with her now and again. I went in there this one day, And one of the teachers come out and they said, oh, Lynn's in the meeting, but do you want a coffee? Yeah, I'll have a coffee. Do you want a biscuit? Yeah, I'll have a biscuit. Yeah, you're there, aren't you? Why don't you pick up a penguin? I came outside, all the little kids in the school playground were waddling like this, they knew. But last year we sat and watched, when it came on, when Strictly started in October, we sat and watched it. And I've never been a Strictly fan, to be honest, but I wanted to see this year how Ellie Simmons, the Paralympian, got on. Like, because I wasn't sure about that. And I've got to be honest, I felt quite uncomfortable watching it. I don't know if anybody saw it. I mean, she's a fantastic woman. 5 gold medals. I think she got 2 at the age of 14, which was absolutely brilliant. But I just felt really uncomfortable watching it. And at the end of her first dance, her partner spun her across the floor, and she shot across like that. And I'm one end of the settee, and Lynn's at the other. And I started laughing. And she's like, what are you laughing at? I said, oh, fucking come on. I said, look at that. I said, if that doesn't remind you of dwarf tossing, I don't know what does. And she was like, you shouldn't laugh, because that could be you. I was like,
It's going to toss you.
I said, well, it couldn't, because I'll never be invited to go on Strictly. She's like, I didn't mean that, I meant the dwarf bit. Right, I was ready for that. I said, right, I'll have you know, a dwarf is classified as somebody that's 59 inches or less. And she said, well, how tall are you? I said, I'm 62 inches, so actually I've got 3 inches over being a dwarf. And again, quick as a flash, she said, but you shrink as you get older. Horrible, isn't it? This, I am getting old. I'm just looking around the room. Some of you seem like my sort of audience, old. Like I'm 65 this year. I fucking hate it. It's like, I've retired. Right? I retired in March, and I've joined. This is how bad things have got. I've joined the Quedgley Bowls Club. I've been once, and I got banned. Right? I got banned. I used to play rugby for Wigan, so I'm quite competitive, quite like a physical game. And bowls, it just didn't my thing. And what happened was, it wasn't my fault, right? It wasn't my fault. Apparently, according to Frank, I kept picking up his ball. We had a bit of an argument, we had a bit of a fracas, and I pushed him and he fell over. And they banned me for that, right? And I said, why have you banned me? Because I didn't start it. He came up to me, he was accusing me of taking his ball. He had a go, all I did was push him a little bit. I couldn't help it, he fell over. Why have you banned me? And I said, Frank's 93. There are some benefits to being older. I now realise how many garden centres we've got in the county. We seem to spend most of our time going round them. And we go to Highfields quite often, down Whitminster. And we were in there the other day, and just having a coffee, and the woman said, would you like a senior citizens discount card? I said, why are you asking me? She said, well, clearly you're of that age. Well, what are the benefits? She said, well, on a Monday, you can have 50% off a roast dinner. Okay, yeah, I'll sign up for that. So I read the small print. You can have 50% off a roast dinner, served between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock in the morning. Like, who the fuck eats a roast dinner at 10 o'clock on a Monday? It turns out hundreds of them do down at Highfields. We went last week. I joined the queue at 10 o'clock. By the time I got our meal, there was only about 20 in the queue. It was 11:30 and the offer had finished. So, like, we're not going there again. That's a bit of new material which clearly died a death. But I don't care because I've been paid. So, listen, did you enjoy Samantha? Yeah. Good. Right, your next act. I need to tell you about him, like, because I've gigged with him loads of times. I love him, but some of you, right, and don't worry about it, some of you were going to love him and think he's brilliant, and some of you are going to sit there thinking, what the fuck is going on, right? If you fall into that category, don't worry, okay? Don't worry. It won't be the first time we've seen it. It won't be the last. His name is Roger Swift. He's travelled down from Telford tonight to entertain you. And again, if we could, maybe Jess and Son, if we could start the applause at the back of the room on the count of 3 and bring it all the way through. So on the count of 3 for Roger Swift, 1, 2, 3, start the applause. bring it right the way through the room as we welcome the lovely Roger Swift. Some of the drugs say, oh God, yeah, you're going to be saying that a lot.